There's nothing that beats the feeling of starting up the brew and getting that first whiff of freshly brewed coffee floating through the air. Such is the feeling of starting another video. Welcome back. Why he decided to be so helpful, of course. There was no other way for the research to be brought out in the open after all. Reason would he have made it so freely available? Make it so freely available? How did your suspect get his hands on it so easily? Yeah, we're working under this. We're working under a lot of assumptions and trying to back our way into proof. Is what I feel like Godot's strategy is right now. And the lesson being, don't let yourself get walled off by a lack of proof. Take the long road in your logic. Okay, so what we've reasoned out so far is that Sharp knew that Andrea's research was stolen. That's what he texted her about. How did he know? Because he stole it. How did he steal it? Only two people had access to it, and it wasn't Andrea who gave him access to it, so it had to have been the victim, O'Shea. So why would O'Shea get it out to show Sharp? That's the reason why the victim would have brought Mr. Sharp the research. The article? About plagiarism? Well, it would have to have something to do with the plagiarism scandal, if anything, right? Yes, if anything would make sense, that would. Alright, now to draw whatever conclusion I was supposed to get from this. Let's see, maybe the victim brought Mr. Sharp the paper so they could confirm his accusation. So, this is supposed to lead us somewhere, right? Miss Medina has denied all accusations against her research, correct? We can assume that my client was telling the truth for a moment. Then Mr. Sharp's accusation would have to be false, right? Why, yes, I suppose so. Well then, where does that leave us? The victim takes Andrea's research papers to discover the true nature of the plagiarism accusation. A comparison between the two's research figures out he made a false accusation, and then... Finally, you took your time. Defense posits that if there was any time and reason for the foul deed to be done, well, the precious paperboy just couldn't take the heat. His poor little fledgling pittance of a reputation was about to be scarred forever. We tend to be capable of a good many irregular deeds with our futures on the line. So I'm sure the prosecution would agree. Isn't that kind of weird, though? Huh? If all Edwin did was make a false accusation, it really shouldn't harm his reputation that much. He did the plagiarism. You could just say he made a mistake. I mean, at this point, they've set this up really well. Where he's obviously a fake intellectual. So obviously he's the true culprit of the plagiarism, right? Would that really be enough to kill over? Now that you mention it, that does seem wrong. And if Mr. Orion's going to take Andrea's research, wouldn't he at least give her a heads up? The court may not know the full extent of what happened between the victim and our suspect, but I'd wager a good look at our missing paperwork should put its scalding secrets into the light of day. Right, Andrea's research is still missing. I think it's obvious where it went next. If a perusal of the pretty papers helped the victim find the truth of matters, then our killer couldn't have left them out in this unguarded, chaotic world of ours. I'd like to request we search the apartment of a certain suspect of the defense's... We don't need to go through his possessions. It's a complete waste of the court's time. Besides, if the defense really thinks that something in those research notes was enough to drive my witness to murder, but I doubt the notes would be there in the first place. Mr. Sharp would have destroyed the evidence, not kept it. Just as we all have two faces, so too does this particular piece of evidence. I may not have put much time into preparing for this trial, but from everything I've seen, well, I have reason to think your witness has good motive to keep our missing evidence close at heart. Oh, you know what's up. I'm willing to take a little gamble. It's not like my life, it's my life that's on the line. Your Honor, we can't allow this to just... What's wrong, prosecutor? You shouldn't have a thing to worry about if you believe the witness's words. After all, they're the ones you constructed your argument upon, aren't they? Well, yes. My search, then, if you would, Your Honor. Very well, then, bailiff. Everybody in the universe has its own gravitational field, and, they're best not interfered with. Andrea, you don't have to go through with the search, right? It just makes things look bad after they showed up. Miss Medina? Trying to get in the way now, are you? Did you somehow forget what's at stake here? Well, there's gotta be some other way, hasn't there? You can't just... Objection. Are you really so deluded in thinking I care about whatever you're trying to hide? I'm not... Oh, please. Just because the prosecution is allowed to make up whatever it wants doesn't mean you have to join in, too. You expect me to buy into your little game because you're my client? Let you obstruct my work because I'm supposed to serve your every need. But you can't! I don't care what you're hiding or why you're hiding it. You hired me to get you off the hook for murder, that's all. If some pretty little secret of yours happens to drag you through the mud in the process, I could care less. Yeah. No. No, we need to find the truth, especially if it keeps our client out of prison, but... Are you really supposed to do it like this? Wait, I'm not about to let you... Yeah, You all can put on whatever pitiable show you like. It won't amount to much more than a grade school performance. Your Honor, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. But very well, I'll send for your search, Mr. Godot. You should know by now that uncertainty is a constant of life. If you shrivel down in the face of it, you won't amount to anything. Yes, of course. Off you go then, bailiff. Of course, Your Honor. Prosecutor, what are you doing? Are you really just going to sit there and let him control the whole courtroom? I know what's happening. Still. Oh, yes, there's still my decisive evidence. The dusty doorknob, remember? And the defendant and the victim had their fingerprints on the balcony door. Even if you find some meaningless paperwork, it won't do any good if I have my proof. My witness was nowhere near where the deed was done. Hiding behind that last sliver of hope, are we? Oh well, little chicks that were betrayed by their wings still need to learn to fly one way or another. Why don't we kick ours over the cliff and see if it can do anything other than flail? The court could hear one last testimony. I'd like to see if the kid can destroy the last of the ground the prosecution's argument stands on. Yes, of course. Mr. Sharp, if you would. Wow. Oh boy. That went places. Wow. God damn. God, just when we were thinking that this was going to be a straightforward turnaround, we have, what is Andrea hiding? Why is she hiding it? What exactly was Mr. Sharp's role in all of this? Is he actually the killer? What does the doorknob mean? What's going on? What the heck? No matter what your search divides, there's no way I could have done it. The doorknob corroborates that much. My prints are nowhere near it. Only the victims and the defendants. There's no way the crime occurred anywhere, save the balcony. Just peruse the autopsy report. I'm sure forensics is astute enough to figure out bruising. Where else could he have gotten them? And this inane text message doesn't exist. Why would I converse with that wretch in the first place? I didn't manipulate her into a crazed search. How would I have known it would have bothered her that much? Kicking back and watching a cross-examination shouldn't be a problem, right, Your Honor? We're waiting, after all. What better do we have to do? Besides, it'll save us time once the evidence arrives. Seeing as the prosecution won't have any more arguments to fall back on. Yes, I suppose we might as well cross-examine this testimony. Good. You know what to do, don't you? Yeah. I think I was actually looking forward to today. Why did I think anything would change when we stepped into the courtroom? Apollo, come on. You can't just let your boss walk in here like he owns the place and take all your credit. And now what? This case depends on some random piece of evidence that may or may not be destroyed showing up? Normally I don't think I'd like banking the whole case on something like this, but... even if the search turns up foul, it's bought us a chance to dissect the prosecution's main argument. If I can bring down his logic here, and the defense could probably stay in the case either way. Is that what's going on here? Just how much is being kept from me? I'm glad to see your mentor in this AU is just as cryptic and mysterious as your mentor in the main canon. Alright, let's see what happens. Hold it. And if we get exactly the evidence we need, well, there'll still be this current argument, right, prosecutor? Not me! Yes, you? Do your job, please. Oh, yes, whatever he said. Look who's the picture of confidence now. Yeah, you could do to make some more mistakes if you'd like. That'd help. No, thank you. Is the doorknob really such irrefutable evidence? Well, it doesn't have my prints on it, I know that much. But there has to be something that's off, right? Come on now, kid. If you have a counter-argument, then come out and say it. The only thing I can come up with that throws the doorknob into question... okay, so we can say Sharp wiped his prints or Clay's fingerprints are missing. Why would Clay's prints be there? Let's skip this for now. No, I can't think of anything that would disprove the fingerprints well existing. There's no evidence that Mr. Sharp's fingerprints should be there either. So I guess that's how it should be. Come on, there's gotta be another angle to attack this from. Okay, so that's the right answer. But, well, what if there was another way to get onto the balcony? Would you like to enlighten us, Mr. Justice? No! No, thank you! Fear blinds even the most well-honed of minds. You're just trying to bait me, aren't you? Oh, you don't want to present your theory about how the witness magically parkoured onto the balcony? Frankly, I'm disappointed. It's a surefire yes if I've ever heard one. This point interests me. Are you sure forensics couldn't have just made a simple mistake? Well, it's not as if you're an expert on the subject. Oh no, Mr. Justice. I ask that you put a bit more faith in our local forensics department. Boy, I've made quite a few friends there from overseeing so many cases. And I assure you, they're quite nice people. Oh, I guess that puts them above mistakes then. Mr. Justice? Alright. You don't have to say anything else. I get your point. The balcony doesn't work out as our murder scene. The victim had to have been bruised somehow. Think, Justice. What does that leave me? It's in this inane text message doesn't exist. Yeah. What about your own phone? You should have a record of sending a message, right? If you're so eager to prove us wrong, then go ahead, hand it over. Surely. Wait, really? Thoroughly, you can check my cellular all you please. I only request that you don't scry into interpersonal provinces. Okay. He deleted the message too. There's nothing on here. He must have gone through it, deleted everything. Well, you, have her contact information. Does that count for something? Considering they're co-workers, I wouldn't say so, Mr. Justice. Right. Back to the oh-so-familiar drawing board. Got the impression that the research she'd done was quite impressive. Even the victim seemed to think so. So of course she'd go looking for it if it went missing. If you took it and then told her it was gone, well, why would she have any impetus to believe me? We weren't exactly on good terms at the time, were we? No, I guess not. Finally, you listen to something. I don't think I like the courtroom very much anymore. It's easy to find anything wrong with his lines of logic here. I need to approach this from a different angle. Might take a bit of thinking first. Yeah, his reasoning isn't all that faulty for once. I heard that. Yes, I heard that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, whoa. You throw a desperate dog a bone. Maybe I should whack you two over the head with them before you can throw any more. Just get on to the testimony already. Okay, boss. Let's peruse the autopsy report. Fall from a significant height. There's the thing that bugs me about this. That a fall from that height did pierce completely through him. I guess the sundial's not that tall, but still. So that might be nothing, but what if we present this? Nothing happens. Your Honor, take a look at this piece of evidence. Alright, I'm looking at it. Am I missing something? Nothing at all, Your Honor. I think the defense is trying to mock the hard of sight. Wait a second, that's not it at all. We'll make sure this penalty is perfectly visible to all of us, Mr. Justice. Okay. Thanks for trusting me, Your Honor. Oh, I didn't try this yet off screen, but a thought that just occurred to me. It says peruse the autopsy report. It says fall from a significant height, doesn't say where. Oh damn, that was wrong. Shit. Fucked up. Okay, this is interesting. I stumbled upon the answer off with the recording paused. Where else could he have gotten them from? Because I think what we're going for here is... he fell on his back and died. And then afterwards he got dropped onto the sundial. If you present the research center diagram here, I can prove another way that the bruising could occur. Well, you can see that the murder could have happened elsewhere. Like, perhaps from the front entrance as opposed to the balcony. The culprit would have to be particularly forceful, and even then, you'd see the drop putting him into a state of shock, but killing him. Right, a state of shock. Perhaps an opportunity. Hold on. The drop may not be as high as it is from the balcony, but neither is the distance. The victim was in a state of shock. The culprit could have used the opportunity to hop down and press his body further onto the sundial. Why then, yes, I think that could work. The fact still stands. The victim could only have gotten his bruise if he was pushed from the balcony. That's what I'm here to disprove. Court will take a look at this diagram, please. This is where the bruising actually took place. Oh boy. I don't know where to point. Left or right? Left or right? False. Here! Bruising occurred here. What exactly do you mean here? Well, you see... Actually, never mind. You know how bruising occurs, kid. Your veins are put under too much strain, and then one way or another... Okay, I get it! Going to equate it to me failing in some way, shape, or form. Just give me the penalty and let's get on with it. It's in the parking lot. False. Oh. It's in the parking lot. Didn't say the car, though. It's the only thing I can think of. Bruise would have had to have been made with Clay's car. How did you manage to bruise a body with a car? Remember earlier in the trial, Your Honor? At the lobby, I took the time to ask my witnesses a few questions and discovered that during the drive out of town, Mr. Tarrant's car was acting strangely. Clay, can you elaborate on what exactly you told the prosecution? It should be acceptable testimony, after all, considering he implemented it into his argument. Well, it's something of an old car from our center. It's prone to act up now and then. And that day was really, well, jumpy. Probably wasn't safe to drive it now that I think about it. No, hold on! The defense proposes that the bruising didn't occur because of the fall. Because of the means by which his body was transported. The body was in the trunk. All that had to happen was for the car to jump with the right amount of force once. It would create a continuous bruise straight across his back. Okay. Ah! Oh my. Your cramps, you could have easily been right in the middle of the garden. Do you really think you could just wave your finger around and disprove such a basic fact of the murder? Forensics wouldn't confuse bruises from a 30-foot fall with bruises from a car ride. Are you so sure about that, curtain hair? What is this supposed to mean? I've worked enough murder cases to know what happens to a body when its heart can't keep beating. After death, gravity would cause the blood to congeal at the lowest point in the body. Considering the victim died and was found face up. I'll just guess where the blood would congeal. It would be across his back, wouldn't it? But that's the exact same place his bruise was. Exactly. Forensics would be able to determine that there was a bruise due to the state of the blood vessels. But the exact severity would be a different matter, right? It does make your theory sound quite plausible. But what about evidence? The court needs evidence, not some dumb possibilities.
Objection!
Funny how we hide behind old shields even years after they've been rusted to pieces. Your evidence only needed to be watered down, so it lost its decisive status that you so love to cling to. That if ours just happens to show up, well... You've seen some of your witnesses' reactions already, haven't you? Ah! No, Your Honor. You can't allow this. Need this case to... Stop your pathetic blubbering. It's too late now. Your Honor, we found the evidence. Ah, right on cue. Good to know the court bailiffs are still as punctual as ever, at least. Go ahead, Your Honor. Why don't you show the court what I found? Oh my. Seems you were right again, Mr. Cadeau. Looking at the state of the evidence, this is most certainly definitive. Wait a second. What is it, Your Honor? If I'm reading correctly, this isn't your client's research at all. It's witnesses, Mr. Sharp's. Oh. What? Aha. See, Your Honorance, I told you, this was all farce. So nothing. Not weird to find my own research in my apartment, not at all. Certainly nothing to kill over. Was this Andrea's lie?
Objection!
That's ridiculous. There's blood right there on the paperwork. Something else too. A couple of sentences scrawled in the margins. Let's see here. Put the data from Figure 4 into your reasoning here. Change the wording of your abstract. It's too similar to mine. Try making the error bars slightly different. This can't be too obvious. What? Handwriting isn't exactly consistent between the notes either. Looks to me like they've been written by two different people. Huh. Oh. That's as I thought. How pathetic. I don't think I like where this is going. So you're going to actually be strong and fess up, but we'll have to do it for you. This really isn't necessary. You don't have to say anything else. I mean, the research has already been found. Just look at it. Thought I already made myself clear. I don't get why you expect me to protect your pretty little reputation. Getting that verdict you wanted, and I could care less what that entails for you afterwards. You can't just say that. She's our client. Oh, so you'd like to get in the way of the truth too, would you now, kid? That's not what I... Let me ask the court a question. Those papers are the words... Are the word boys and not my clients. Why would she panic so much when she received that text message? Her own work should have been safe and snug where she left it after all. She could have easily checked to make sure it was still there. And word boy lied. Not having her coworkers research shouldn't have been a problem. Unless... it implicated her in some way. But she can't have actually plagiarized the witness's research. Then Mr. Sharp would have had no reason to kill the victim. There's only one solution. It had to implicate both of them. Both? But that makes no sense! I am struggling to grasp it as well. If I remember correctly from what I heard of this case, it revolves around a certain humble research center. A home garden can be grown with all the care and love you'd like, but it can never compete with a plantation. Seeds can never grow so quickly with the attention of only one person. The sad truth of the matter is that a research center like the victims would never be able to compete. Especially with the likes of the ones we see in the news these days. Getting that level of attention would require something drastic. Pathetic what human beings will do for notoriety. The witch of Mr. Sharp's was just the first accusation in a series between the pair. Meant to create a spectacle of lies for the public to be drawn to, like moths to a flame. And quite the flame it could have been indeed. A little place like that, even a little more attention would make it feel like it'd been set ablaze. With enough planning, there would be no victor. And both would come out unscathed enough. But a certain someone happened upon our now bloodied piece of planning. Probably left out for our little lady, if I had to guess. He wasn't so fond of the pair's ideas, so he decided to confront one of the culprits. Be involved in a scandal like that. I'd say it's worse than a mere charge of forgery. So a murderer got his hands a little dirty and solved that problem, risking away the perfect piece of evidence to cover up that messy leftovers, and hopefully solve the initial scandal. Excuse me? I think I get it. Manufactured scandal to boost the reputation of their research center. Mr. Sharp had this, he could figure out exactly where his data overlapped. If he knew exactly what to call out, it would be pretty easy for him to prove his accusation. That would probably help wipe the whole problem under the rug. It's not like Miss Medina would have been in the position to refute him had things worked out. Oh now, word boy, I say, this research still fills its role in our case quite well then, doesn't it? Especially considering the good bailiff found it in your very own apartment. You can't just arrest me. You're not supposed to arrest me. Bloody papers in my own apartment. I mean, that could mean any number of things. Those little notes. Who cares about some little notes? This is ridiculous, really. It's okay, Edwin. Everything you nice and planned out. No need to fuss. No need to worry. Everything's okay. It was his fault, not yours. Everything's going to go your way. Because... Oh, come on, Edwin! Do you know why? Why can't you ever put your intellect to use for once? Come on now, how can you figure this out? This is why to try this. Still, never do this. This is why you had to lie. This is why you busted it. That's why you had to decide why you had to do that. Yup. The end of the book. Is that enough for you, old man? I'd sure say so. And do me a favor and get this whole mess over with. Wow. Alright. It seems this case has been seen to its conclusion. One way or another. Miss Medina. Yes, Your Honor. Though you still have quite a bit of trouble to contend with. In regard to the murder, we can't ignore the facts at hand. This court finds the defendant, Andrea Medina. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wow. And you'll be officially recognizing me as your attorney, not that kid over there. Yes, sir. Good. Not good! Well, what's that? What do you think you're doing? You call yourself a defense attorney? I thought you were supposed to be good at your job. Huh. You're upset that I didn't treat your friend with the gentle care you wanted. Why even be a defense attorney if you just couldn't be like that? Aren't you supposed to value saving people? Helping your clients? Protecting the innocent? How can anyone call you successful? This case was never important to me. Wow. That should have been obvious from the very start. Just another not guilty to make the track record look a bit better, that's all. Better record, more money, fewer cases, less work. There was no reason I had to let her hide that inconvenient little truth of hers if it was going to get in the way. Wow. That's disgusting. Never claimed to be a moral pillar for you to worship now, did I? I'm just getting the job done well. But why don't the three of you just go ahead and have your pointless little pity party? I'm out of the office for your share whenever you finish, kid. All right. Thought I already made myself clear. I don't get why you expect me to protect your petty little reputation. Getting that verdict you wanted, and I could care less what that entails for you afterwards. What a wreck of a first trial. Thought it would go well, at least better than this. Is the world just out to get me lately? I'm really sorry, Andrea. I shouldn't have recommended you in the first place. I got my acquittal, Sir Clay. That's all I asked for. Perhaps that's what the path the sky above had laid out for me. Am I kidding? What good will that nonsense do me now? The kind of career in the field I might have had has been ruined. It wasn't a good idea to go along with, you know. I knew that. I always knew that. I understand if you thought the plan was unsightly. You can think what you want of me. Sir Ed, my coworker said, if we could attract attention to our paper and I made it good enough, we'd get more funding. In theory, at least. Wouldn't be enough evidence to prove our accusations if we planned it right. Just enough so that they held a bit of water. If it worked, maybe I could get my hands on some better equipment. Sell my work and observations. The idea of it all just seems so appealing. I was willing to have my reputation take a bit of a hit for it, if more eyes were on our research center. It must be so absurd to you, Sir Clay, Sir Justice, to know that my research hadn't reached its full potential. I might never have the equipment or resources you guys have over at Cosmos. The idea was tormenting me. But now, I won't get any job in astronomy again. I knew it was stupid. I knew the whole time. It's all my fault. All the people to go along with. Now I've gone and... Hey, calm down. You still, work freelance? Right? How would I get anywhere with a reputation like this? If I hadn't been such an idiot. If I hadn't... Hey, stop that! Don't you dare say another word. Eh? Listen to me. Pull yourself together. Sir Clay. Not saying what you did wasn't stupid, but don't lose yourself over it. So please, just listen for a moment. We had a partnership with your research center, remember? We'd support you guys as long as you supported us. The research center probably won't really exist for much longer, but who's to say the partnership won't? We'll have to keep things anonymous, no putting your name on anything. I doubt everyone over there will trust you right away. But, well, I think I might be able to get the director to sympathize. Hey, Dr. Cosmos. You mean? Hey, don't get too excited. We don't want any more scandals now, do we? We're gonna have to keep a close eye on you. Oh, thank you. I could keep you under surveillance as constant as gravity. I could care less. This is a blessing, really. I had a feeling we could make this work out. Besides, I think there's someone else who deserves your thanks right now. Right, Apollo? Indeed. I'm free now in most senses, thanks to your efforts, Sir Justice. For the record, I far preferred your defense. You, did a good job and helped save me as well. Saved me, well, a lot. Just as much, even. Even if the truth had to come out, I would have much rather it had been you. Oh, thanks? No, I'm thanking you. Hey, brighten up a bit. This isn't your fault. The truth's come to light. We're making it work, aren't we? Isn't that the end goal in these cases anyway? Yeah, that's great, really. Everything could still work out. What's bothering you? It's nothing, I'm fine. It's your boss, isn't it? No. It's his boss. Definitely. Maybe. It worked out, so come on, really? Did you see how he treated Andrea in there? He treated you, even. I know. Apollo. Yeah? Why are you working for that guy? He was hiring, and he was one of the best has one of the best records of this side of the country, so I thought, really, Apollo? You're supposed to be the smart one of the two of us, remember? Ow. Look, if you want to work under a talented attorney, that's fine. I don't want any of this to keep up. If you can't change the situation, you walk straight out of that office, you got it? I know unemployment can be rough, but trust me. If that's the standard for how he treats people, it'll be worth it. I'll help you through it if that's what you need, okay? Okay. That's not enough. I want you to promise me. Straighten things out with that guy, or you quit. You got that? You get 2 weeks tops to make something out of your current job. I promise. You do? Of course. That's what I want to hear. You're Apollo Justice, and you'll do just fine. I'll tell the stars to cheer for you with us, Sir Justice. I don't know how much that'll help. I want to believe it will. Don't worry, we'll figure this out one way or another, won't we? Yeah, we'll manage somehow. We always do. Thanks to the two of them. I felt a bit better leaving the courtroom after that mess of a first trial. I suppose in the end Godot won an acquittal. I left the courthouse that day with a promise to keep. Honestly, it looked more like a promise to quit than anything else. The more I think about it, the idea of being unemployed for a little while doesn't seem too bad. Especially if Clay will be there to support me. I guess the alternative deserves a try, at least. Though I'm pretty sure it'll be impossible to work things out. At least that's what I thought. Now there might be a chance. A very small chance, but a chance nonetheless. Found a lead that I hadn't accounted for. One that was staring me right in the face the entire time I'd been employed here. The name of our law office. Oh wow, hello. Credit sequence go. Wow, that, Well, that was nice in the end. I was gonna say, for a while it was looking to be... Oh, I forgot Pyrite closes after everything. For a while it was looking to be a really, just straightforward, easygoing case. And then Godot came in. I was gonna say, then we had the teases of Andrea trying to hide something. Then we had Godot coming in and just fucking everything up and winning the case somehow. And that's just, wow, that's a hell of a way to end. And the alternative. Clearly we're setting up the running premise of this series to be what point was winning that acquittal if it just almost ruined Andrea's life in the process. And Godot just did not give two shits about anything beyond winning that acquittal. Clearly, we have Apollo Justice growing into being just keeping his heart for as long as possible in this business. And if we get more of Apollo juxtaposed with the side that's just in it to win. Which I think is really the first time we've seen that perspective from defense attorneys in a Phoenix Wright fan work. Uh-oh. That fire truck is stopping awfully close to... Okay, no, it's just going through really slowly. Okay. Oh, it's the... Oh, stupid parade. Anyways. Alright, so... We gotta listen to Santa. Fortunately, we're done with this video. Gotta listen to the fire trucks and the Santa parade. I guess we'll see if the fire equipment actually picks that up outside. But it is quite loud. But yeah, it's be interesting if we see more of that from the defense side of the pond. It's the first time we really touched on it. Alright, now that's really getting loud. So I'm gonna end this off here. When we return, we'll get into case 3. Until then.